All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops at Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. It's your brother, Rabbi Nat, coming out with a lesson, Lord's will, edifying to the Lord's elect. Now, I found this, I was watching the news, and I saw this and wanted to do a video. I'm just going to go in the spirit. It says former Boston Police Commissioner Ed Davis weighs in on National Guard in major cities. I'm just going to jump right into
Thank you so much for joining us. Let's take this opportunity to talk about crime and public safety with a man who knows as much about it as anyone, or more than anyone here in the Boston area, and that would be WBZ security analyst Ed Davis, the former Boston Police Commissioner. Now,
right. So I did a wiki on him real quick. I didn't find anything, but he's the former Boston commissioner. I Googled, is there a civil war about to happen in America? It says no, civil war is not currently about to happen in America. However, concerns about the possibility of civil conflict and political violence have been raised by some experts in large segments of the public. Though civil war is likely to take a different form than an 1860s conflict, perhaps resembling insurgencies or guerrilla warfare with localized militia activity rather than a full-scale state versus state war. Because the Civil War was two different armies coming up against each other, but this time it's going to be some, I mean, we don't know exactly what it's going to be, but there's mindsets out here, man, that people are going to gather under all different types of shit, man. Okay. And that's prophesied in Isaiah 19 and 2. Okay, let me grab it real quick. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight one against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And these Egyptians are talking about Americans. Isaiah 19, when you know it, when you get the breakdown of it, it's pointing to a further future event, okay, that hasn't happened in Egypt. Okay, before I was looking this civil war up, the reason why I was looking this up because you can look at modern day Egypt. I said, is there a civil war about to happen in Egypt? Meaning modern day Egypt. It says no. There is no indication of an imminent civil war in Egypt, but we just read there could be one in America. Current regional conflicts involve Sudan, the Israeli Hamas war. Yes, in that area, the Israeli Hamas war. Egypt borders Israel, okay? And they were trying to push Palestinians into Egypt. That will destabilize Egypt. They don't want that to happen. So that's why they, of course, it's in their best efforts to for them to come up with some type of solution within their own borders. Okay, intentions in the Horn of Africa. Egypt is primarily focused on regional stability, using diplomatic efforts to contain conflicts in neighboring countries like Sudan and working to de escalate the Israeli Hamas war due to economic and security concerns rather than preparing for internal conflict. So they're united. Okay, so this Egyptian going against Egyptian is not talking about Egypt. Right now, it shows you this lines up more with what's going on in America. Okay, so just like the apostles and elders have said. Okay, I put it into chat, and it says this prophecy is about civil strife in Egypt. Okay, now this is code, so even chat don't even know what this is talking about. It's not gonna give you America. Okay, when you look into Google and things like that, this is why you need teachers, so they can teach you. Okay, and the Lord send out prophets to break this down, man. Not even these AI platforms can break this down. The Most High is foretelling a time when Egyptians would not be united, and we just read that the modern day Egyptians, which are uh, um, Ishmael Arabs in that country today, they're united. Okay, they just don't want their country to destabilize. So the point is, it's not talking. Isaiah 19 is not talking about modern day Egypt. It's talking about America. would not be united, but instead fight amongst themselves. And that's not happening in Egypt. It's more likely to happen here in America. Historically, Egypt often fell into civil wars, internal divisions between dynasties, and conflicts between local rulers of different regions. I didn't know that. Okay, I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. God is the one allowing strife to break out. This shows that all turmoil, even civil war, is under his control. So this all in the cards. They shall fight everyone against his brother, neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. Emphasis emphasizes the chaos with family, neighbors, and provinces turning on one another. This shows total division, lack of unity, and societal collapse. And this is what we're starting to see, at least some form of that here in America. Okay. Um, let's get back to the. I did want to grab something else. I forgot.
A successful security consultant as well as our analyst. Ed, welcome. Good to have you here.
Thank you, John. Always a pleasure.
So, when you see the military deployed to the streets of LA, most recently to DC, and maybe they'll be coming to Boston soon, what goes through your mind?
That's what I wanted to. I'm glad he said that because let's open up another tab. It is Donald Trump thinking about sending the National Guard to Boston, Massachusetts. Trump threatens to send National Guards to more U.S. Let's get into this. Let's see what he says. It's 6 days ago, but maybe we can.
Wayfair's Labor Day clearance is here. End your summer with sun, fun, and savings.
President Trump is threatening to send more National Guard troops to cities across the country. This is part of the president's promise to crack down on crime beyond Washington, D.C. President Trump specifically.
There's so much crime in Boston, Massachusetts. I grew up in Boston, man. Boston ain't nothing like how I grew up, man. Okay, Boston is way different now. At least for me, from what I see, man. I be driving people around the hoods I would never walk through in Dorchester, man. There's Asian people living on Magnolia Street, man. Here in Boston, man. Magnolia, you get your shit fucking pushed back if you went from over there. Okay, and there's fucking mobites all over in that area. And Jake's over there too, but it's like it's different now. You know, ain't no one really chilling. The parks, you can play basketball there. You wouldn't want to be playing mass shootouts over there. You know, that's just one situation. You know, people still get shot, but it's really the younger generation that's still doing that dumb shit. It's probably older Jakes making them do it, but it was different. Everyone was, man. Young dudes was shooting old dudes was shooting young. It was crazy out here in Boston. It ain't like that anymore. So the point is, there's no need for National Guard here. He already gentrified all this shit. Rents throughout the roof, man. If you somehow surviving out here, man, it's like it don't even make any sense how you even surviving out here, man. Okay, because you gotta be on your, you gotta be hustling out here, man. You gotta work. Really ain't no time to be fucking around, man. Wasting your time. If you gotta be about getting your shit. If you ain't the type of person to get shit done, that's what Boston's like. So there's no need for no National Guard. There hasn't been a real serious situation here since like the Boston Marathon. Maybe around that time, um, it was a little more crazy, but I can't, we still, people die people still get different situations pop up, but it ain't no Chicago. It's not a New Orleans. It's not like crazy like that. A DC, you know. There's more students here and transplants here. Most of the people that come here are not even is they're not even from here, man. Boston's like they don't need no National Guard. So it might be disguised as them coming to crack down on sanctuary cities because how crazy shit is. And you hear shit everywhere, but Massachusetts ain't like these other states when it comes to their crimes are not like you hear about some things, but they're never like national news type shit, man. This shit that's more handled internal. It's not really a big deal. I mean, you get the Karen Reeds every now and again. That was a big case, you know. But it's very rare you hear about shit like that. Where's the National Guard for the Jeffrey Epstein and all these sex trafficking rings? That's what he should be going for. Nope, nah, I'm gonna go after you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Y'all are the problem because of fentanyl and all this shit. Nah, there's kids missing, nigga. The fuck? This is what I'm saying. This devil is full of shit, man. Anyway.
They mentioned sending soldiers to New York City, Baltimore, and Chicago, while often generating headlines for violent.
I don't hear nothing about Boston. I heard about those states. I'll go with it.
Crimes. Chicago's police statistics found murder, robberies, and shootings are all down this year. But the president and city officials paint differing pictures.
We'll go in and we'll straighten out Chicago, just like we did D.C. Chicago is very dangerous.
We're moving in the right direction, building a safe and affordable big city. What this president is attempting to do is not just unconstitutional, but it is very much a threat to our democracy.
Mayor
Black governor and shit. Come on, man. This dude's full of shit.
Johnson also said sending troops to the city is not the role of the military, and his city will not back down. So what could this mean for Boston and Massachusetts and the National Guard here? Will they be called up as well?
Our NBC 10's Amelia Fabiano spoke with the governor today. She's joining us live at the National Guard base in Melrose with the answers. Amelia, what did the governor have to say?
So, Priscilla and Colton, it's important to note that Boston, Massachusetts, they haven't been pulled into this conversation just yet. But Governor Maura Healey did weigh in on it today. After all, she is the commander-in-chief of the Massachusetts National Guard. It would require her approval if the president wanted to send Massachusetts Guard members to cities like Chicago. And that's just something the governor wouldn't agree to.
When we're ready, we'll go.
You know what, Maura Healey? I think that's the name of our governor. Let me double check. Because y'all don't really hear things about her, but when I do hear certain things, man, even though it's all, you know. Yeah, that's her. But you don't hear too much things about her. She be off the radar, but she be I don't know what's going on here, but they definitely be going. They be giving Trump a hard time, man. Duck be like, "What the fuck, man?"
Go in and we'll straighten out Chicago, just like we did D.C. Chicago is very dangerous.
President Trump now promising to expand his.
But this is what's scary about Massachusetts, because I really do think Boston ain't the state to fuck with. I'm starting to see that on my own. It got that union mindset, man. Like they'll go to war with the government. I hate to say it, but like that, but that's what I get with Massachusetts. Like Massachusetts seems to have some type of fight back against it. And it don't seem like they do, but they do, man. You know, they get people from Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire. They all come to Massachusetts, and this is where they speak at, man. You know, I've seen it happen multiple times, and they get deep. They get very deep over here, man. It makes it seem like, I'm talking about all the left-wing Democrats and shit. Even because some of the Republicans are like, they're not really like, full right-wing Republicans. They're more of a moderate Republican. So there's a lot of moderate Republicans here and a lot of leftists. So, but in the eyes of these far right Republicans, they're all Democrats. You know, so Massachusetts, you know, there's both. They don't agree on everything, but one thing they do agree on is to go against Duck.
Law and order push beyond our nation's capital.
This is political theater. It does nothing to improve public safety.
Governor Maura Healey responding, saying this is disrespectful to Guards men and women across the country.
If Donald Trump really cared about public safety, he wouldn't be cutting funding for local law enforcement, which he's.
See, cutting money, man. You start touching people's money. That's the bloodline of this thing, man. The bag, man. Esau don't play about the bag, man. The whole slavery thing, all about the bag. It's all business, man. In the eyes of Edomites, you're a product, and they want to take control over it. That's all. You know, you're a commodity. That's all. That's all that was, man. Okay. So when you know how this devil thinks, man, that bag is gonna cause them to fall, man. Esau's a greedy motherfucker. The scriptures tell you that. He's a niggard at his own table. I gotta grab this. I gotta grab it. That's what he is. Niggard. I didn't even get into the video. Oh well. Because I don't know how to make a video, man. I'm still trying to figure it out. Niggard at his own table. Nigga don't know how to eat. Ecclesiasticus 14. Let's look at the whole thing. Ecclesiasticus 14. Hold on. Ecclesiasticus in the RSV. Ecclesiasticus 14 in the RSV. You just want to get the title. Responsible use of wealth. Let's read that. Ecclesiasticus 14:3 in the RSV, the Revised Standard Version. It says, riches are not seemly for a stingy man, and of what use is property to an envious man? Whoever accumulates by depriving himself accumulates for others, and others will live in luxury on his goods. If a man is mean to himself, to whom will he be generous? He will not enjoy his own riches. No one is meaner than the man who is grudging to himself, and this is the retribution for his baseness. Even if he does good, he does it unintentionally and betrays his baseness in the end. Evil is the man with a grudging eye. He averts his face and disregards people. A greedy man's eye is not satisfied with a portion. In mean injustice withers the soul. A stingy man's eye begrudges bread, and it is lacking at his table. I guess I should have just grabbed that. Ecclesiasticus 14:10. A wicked eye envious its bread, and he is a niggard at his table. Okay, he's looking at you. He getting bread. Duck is definitely getting money, but he want your money. Okay, he want to put his hand in your cookie jar, and that's what he's going to do by sending his troops into here. Okay, flipping your shit upside down, fucking your shit up, all to take away your power. Either bow the knee or you're gonna be taken down in his wrath. It's a takeover. Okay. He doesn't care about your constitution. No, he's coming to do what he wants to do. He don't care about the Constitution, man. That's him being a niggard at his own table. All right. Where else did I have? Let's finish this one, and we'll get back to the.
Done. He wouldn't be cutting funding for community policing, which he's done.
Right now, a bill sponsored by Massachusetts Senator Michael Moore, who represents the 2nd Worcester District, also looks at adjusting the chain of command in the Commonwealth's National Guard.
We are trying to elevate it where we're creating a cabinet level position, basically where the superintendent of the National Guard would report directly to the governor.
His legislation, S218.
So they already trying to circumvent what Duck's trying to do, man. That's not a good thing. in the eyes of you're going against, you're rebelling. That's pretty much what you're doing. Now you got to report to me before you report to him. So you're showing who you're aligned with. Just because he says something, a lot of people, Massachusetts ain't known for that, man. They're the ones, this is how this country was established, man. Supposedly. That's a whole different story. But in the eyes of the the supposed history, they rebelled, and that's how they got their independence. But we know this is all the Rothschilds, and Esau runs the whole world, man. Okay, but I'm just showing you there's a divide, like the Lord said was going to happen according to Isaiah 19:2.
3 was filed back in February before the current climate surrounding the use of the National Guard. He says now it might be worth it, though, to take another look at what should be changed.
I'm not saying this governor would do this, but every 4 to 8 years we have a new administration. Maybe the legislature should actually look at putting some restrictions on the use of the National Guard.
It all comes as nearly.
And Maura Healey's not thinking of this shit by herself, man. She's been very, very quiet. You're seeing the Chicago governor and New York, Colorado. He didn't say nothing about Colorado. A couple months ago, that's another sanctuary city. It was New York, Chicago, Colorado, and Boston. They all had to go up to Capitol Hill, I believe, and talk about how they're spending their money, how this federal funding, how they're using it, and how much is going to this, that, and the third. Boston couldn't explain where that money was going. And there was other situations where they were asking about certain type of paperwork that led to nothing. So where's this money going? But Boston's working, so nobody's really complaining, but no one really knows how this money is really flowing. No one really knows where you look deeper into things, and it's like this led to nothing. There's no trail to anything, man. So there's a lot of power here, a lot of parties at play that are being affected on higher levels than your normal Edomite, man. There's something going on that's bigger than that, at least here in Boston, and I'm sure in these other cities too. Because Esau will call the governor up. They'll go to sit down at these meetings and get their input. What are we going to do about this, that, and the third? They're the ones talking about this. Jake ain't in these conversations. Jake don't own anything that's significant. You can be an NBA football player. That's just nothing, man. Who owns Harvard and they buying all of Cambridge. They got a lot of influence. Who owns MIT? Things like that. Where Boston's known to make money from.
2,000 Guard members are stationed in D.C., with hundreds of troops arriving there this week from several Republican-led states. Trump has no timeline yet for when troops could head to Chicago or other cities.
This was not the intended use.
Okay, what's this? Different cities
of the National Guard as being utilized to go to blue states in retribution for their philosophical or political differences with the administration. That's not America.
And Governor,
it's not America, it's Egypt. That's why.
Healey also saying today they're ready should President Trump eventually take aim at
Could the National Guard be deployed in Boston
and mobilize National Guard troops from red states like what we're seeing in D.C. right now.
And mobilize National Guard troops from red states. So here it is. They want to send National Guards from blue states to somewhere else and National Guards from red states to somewhere else. So imagine that, man. Here's some red state. You know how Republicans talk. Now imagine them coming over here. How do you think that mindset is, man? They already think you left wing motherfuckers the problem, and just like the right wing thinks the left wing, or vice versa. Democrats going into these Republican states, they think the same way of you, equal and opposite, Egyptian against Egyptian. And we already seeing people when those ICE agents come. You see how they act. You don't think they're at heart Republicans, and they look at you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans as the problem. That's why I had one video dude using a damn sledgehammer to get an old ass Spanish dude out of a car with his wife. They were scared to death. They didn't know what to do. And it's because they have pre-biases against you. They don't think you belong here. Okay. Now, same thing with the left wing leaning Edomites that are going to go to these red states. They're going to feel the same way against you right wing Edomites.
Now, although she didn't specifically outline a plan should that happen. Reporting live in Melrose this evening, Amelia Fabiano, NBC 10 Boston.
All right, Amelia, thank you. Let's bring NBC 10's political commentator Sue O'Connell into the conversation. Sue, the president does...
I drive around Boston a lot, man. There's a lot of little depots where there's tanks and helicopters, and there's a lot of that shit already just in different towns. They'll have a lot of equipment and shit, and who knows what else is over there, man. They got different gun manufacturers here in Boston, man. Okay, there's a lot of stuff here, and they got Maine, they got New Hampshire, all of these states, the first 13 states, even probably New York. Well, probably maybe not New York as much, but New York they're not even like really like, a lot of these Republicans over here ain't like the down south Republicans, is what I'm trying to say. Y'all, even though y'all might hate niggas too or whatever, y'all ain't like the ones down south. Okay, you just not. You never been. Those are the diehard Trump. It don't matter what he does, they gonna ride with him. But you gonna turn blue when it's time, man. They already know that, cause you've been living too good. You live in Manhattan, get the fuck out of here, man. You don't live in the woods like them, man. They shooting at cans. They've been, they're different, man. They're just different. And we're gonna see all of it play out, man. We're gonna see it.
Have legal authority to seize control over D.C. Mm-hmm. That is not at all the situation in Chicago. How is he able to pull this off and do this legally?
Does it feel like a rebellion out there? Because Trump is basically stretching the definition of rebellion to justify sending troops. Now, many legal experts think that's a very shaky argument. And this kind of federal takeover against the governor's wishes has not happened since 1965, when President Lyndon B. Johnson federalized Alabama's National Guard to protect civil rights demonstrators in Montgomery from segregationists. So it's extremely rare and controversial, and it's probably going to show up in court just like California's lawsuit did.
Talk about the cost of all this, right? Him sending the National Guard to Los Angeles, now they're in D.C. He's not only talking about Chicago, he's talking about New York City, Baltimore as well. All this, I have to imagine, is going to run up quite the tab.
Indeed, already, right? Trump's military deployments are costing taxpayers massive amounts, over $1 million per day just for D.C. and $134 million for the 2-month operation in L.A. Now, the federal government...
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And if that money was being used in some other area, well, someone is not getting money somewhere. Okay? So a lot of people are upset about that. When it comes to the money, I'm telling you, the bag is being moved and the Lord's doing it. Oh, man. But imagine, just the Lord kept you away from all of this, man. A lot of us Jakes, man. having too much in this world, man. He just gave us what was sufficient for us, our daily bread, man. That's all. You be content with what you got. I'm telling you, there's a lot of money brings a lot of issues that you just don't need. Esau about to find that out the hard way.
Government is picking up the entire tab for these deployments, and the costs keep growing as he threatens to expand to more cities. Now, for comparison, the daily cost of...
That's why they're scared. That's why they want to leave. Because they know they can't, it's not, it already don't sound good. Even when she's explaining it, it don't even, she ain't even happy about it. You could already tell where kind of where her views are. You can't even hide your biases. You know, you live in that soft life. Any form of affliction, Esau can't handle it, man. He can't. He's too soft. Okay. He can't handle it, and this is what we're seeing.
Occupying D.C. with troops is more than 4 times what it would cost to just house every single homeless person in the city.
You see? Oh, we can just house the homeless people. They're saying, fuck those homeless people. I'm going to build prisons for them. And I'm coming after y'all, man. Coming after everybody. That money's not going there. It's being used for what? You either on my side or you going to feel it. You in my way.
For an entire year. And here's the hidden cost. Many National Guard members are first responders in their home states. And when they are deployed, their shifts have to be covered. And that means overtime, hiring replacement workers. And that means taxpayers are being hit twice to pay for the deployment.
Ooh. You don't think people are going to be mad about that? You paying to get oppressed? You paying double. You can't even pay to eat or nothing. They getting paid double so they can eat, they can pay their bills, and they can fuck you up. Okay. So that's what you're gonna see. You're gonna be walking around with your headphones on, not having no clue that these women. Look at that. This is a I'm glad I stopped it here. And they got National Guards. They ain't got no guns on them though. But that's very easily can be changed.
Is in those hidden fees and hidden costs.
Always.
Yeah. Sue, as always, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's beautiful, man. But let me go back to the Boston commissioner. I don't want to make this too long, but it is what it is. This is for the elect.
Well, it's very disturbing on several different levels. First of all, the National Guard has been tremendous when they work with us in partnership. We work with them during the Boston Marathon, and they're great people. But they're not trained to do day-to-day police work. It takes a significant amount of training and experience to be able to do that successfully.
Imagine that. He's sending people who are not trained to do the job that they're replacing the people who can do. He's giving them power over that. So these people are going to be untrained, making the wrong decisions.
And even with all that training and experience, we mess up a lot.
If they mess up a lot with all this training and experience, how much more people who look at these young dudes, no experience. A lot of them ain't never. Come on, man. Come on, man. And the people that we have today, they're not as smart as they used to be, man. You look at a 21-year-old, man. He can't. He's easily, he probably got fingernail painting. He probably, I don't know, man. I'm just saying it's a different time, different era, man. Who knows what the hell's in these people's minds? They probably got a new form of thinking that is just, who knows, man. Do we believe in God? No. You ask some of these people, oh, well, God is just, it's just, well, do you read the Bible? No, I believe in Jesus Christ. But even then, that comes with, I'm Catholic. I grew up a Catholic, like, what? Clearly, don't read the Bible if you're a Catholic, man. I'm sorry, you're an idiot. You're an abomination, man. You don't read the Bible. You don't know nothing about the Lord. You celebrating all paganistic holidays with a smile on your face. So yeah, I'm just using that as an example, man. It's like who's gonna be knocking at your door, man? That's who Duck's deploying. You see who type of people he deployed with these ICE agents, and he got all different type of executive orders that are gonna protect them to do whatever the hell they want to do against you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man.
But the potential for violence between the troops and the criminal element is very high. And
What's a criminal element? All you see online is so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And there's already previous biases that they've just always had, that perpetual hatred like the Bible talks about. But they've been fed this propaganda for years. The most violent people think you're more violent than them, and look at their history. It makes no sense. And those biases, being untrained, it's just a concoction of chaos. That's what the devil's here to bring. Complete chaos, disorder. And that's exactly what this is it's like a series of events that can just create something bad.
The idea of having our military going head to head with our citizens is something I thought I'd never see in the United States. So
he never thought he'd see it. Ed is older than me, man. He's older than a lot of you. He's seen Boston. He's seen a lot of things. And this is the last thing he, especially coming from Boston, man. Boston's, they're a little more, it's not like, I don't know. I can't explain Boston. Boston's more of our license plate says the spirit of America. And what I think that means is this is a place where pretty much it don't matter what race or nationality. Like there's diversity. You're used to diversity here. There's less culture shock here when you meet someone from a different. You're used to that in your classrooms. Your teachers. Everybody was from a different. It was super mixed up here in Boston, and it was all right. It wasn't. That's how Boston is. But other states, there's probably more of an emphasis on race. But that's not how Boston is. So that's the spirit of America, supposedly. But it's not. Massachusetts is not the spirit of America. This might be the ideal state of what they, ideally would want the rest of the country to be like. Morally, supposedly, it's more modernized, I guess you can say, than other states. But it's not like that with other states.
This is rife with danger. And the other thing, John, is that I've been around politics enough to know that politicians are usually risk averse. They don't like to expand their risk profile. It's just an area I work in day to day, so I understand it.
Politicians don't like to expand their risk factor. And he gonna be putting a lot of pressure on them. And a lot of them cracked. A lot of them already sold out. They already sold you out, man. There's a few people that are gonna defect or deflect from Duck, but ultimately, man, you're gonna be destroyed, man. A lot of destruction and judgments coming to every city in America, whether you like it or not, and amongst the whole world. It's gonna be tough out here, man. There's really nowhere you can run if the Lord got to be dealing with you. Even though the thermonuclear missiles are going to come hit this place, famine's going to hit everywhere. Civil unrest everywhere. It's going to be a fight for to survive out here. Like literally, you might have to fight. You might have to do a lot of things you thought you would never do. You never seen yourself doing. And there's gonna be a lot of that in order to survive.
The risk here of a bad incident happening. The mayor and I used to talk about this all the time. I had 2,200 men and women under arms in the city.
2,200 men and women under arms.
Mayor Menino, you're talking about.
Correct, yeah, back when I was a commissioner.
Yeah.
And, we would talk about the danger there, the potential risk of incidents happening every single day. The president is taking this risk upon himself and his office, which is really a risky proposition.
They argue it's necessary. Is that true or false?
It's absolutely false. The crime rate has been dropping, and that just is a canard. It's not.
This is coming from a police commissioner that the crime rate has been falling. He's literally in charge of deploying police officers in areas, they've seen the decline of crime. I've seen it myself in my own city. And if other states are saying the same thing, I can only say, they said even Chicago, even though, Chicago's wild. But, you speak to people from Chicago, they love Chicago. There's areas that are bad. But Esau could have been did something about these places, man. He be letting this shit happen anyways. It's all by design, man. You're redlining. You look at the history of Chicago, man. That shit was all by design. It's a project. They created the crime. They put the drugs, all of it, man. Esau.
Not real. The numbers have been going down across American cities. We are not seeing the type of emergency that they're claiming is prevalent. And the other thing is, the police know how to do this. And if you really want to address crime in the cities, you can go back to look at the Clinton administration, who pumped money into the Justice Department so that local police departments could do the job better. Those are the kind of solutions that we need, not military troops.
Well, with regard to immigration issues in this country and the...
But it's bigger than crime in your cities. Revelation 13 and 16 has to play out. So imagine yourself in a situation where they're trying to mandate putting a MOTB device inside of your fucking brain or in your right hand and making that mandatory. Of course, you're going to create an event where you can already have some type of foothold in the community just in case shit gets out of hand when you decide to implement these draconian laws. Like it says in Revelation, the 13th chapter. There's more shit that he's trying to implement, but he has the stages to it. He got to do one thing at a time. I'll grab this in Revelation, the 13th chapter. Draconian 13 and 10. And I beheld 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, right? Two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. So that's talking about the Democratic and Republican Party. Just like the Roman Empire had the plebeians and the patricians, they had this, the same setup. Okay? Two horns like a lamb. It seems innocent the way he's doing it. No, we want to stop crime and this, that, and the third. It seems like the plausible thing, but it's all so he can speak as a dragon, get his ass in there, and then show you his agenda, which is that MOTB. He's the one bringing in this system. I just want to grab this word. Dragon, that's the spirit, is 1404. Dracon.
Strong's G, 1404. Dracon. Dracon.
Okay. Going into that draconian law. Let me grab this. What is draconian law? Draconian law refers to laws that are excessively harsh, severe, and repressive, often characterized by heavy and disproportionate punishments for offenses. The term originates from Draco, an ancient Athenian legislator whose laws, though intended to standardize the legal system, were infamous for prescribing death as punishment for a wide range of crimes, leading to the term draconian to describe any cruel or overly strict rules. And this is why Apostle Tahar calls him the cruel Lord. I think he's the one who coined that, and I believe him. I've been trying to find a stain in his doctrine for a while now, and I haven't seen it. If somebody have seen, someone need to do a video, because everything he's been saying has been on point. Well, it's Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai's doctrine, but some people don't have the 100% truth. I'm sorry, but people just don't. They don't, man. I see people stumble off the same stuff he goes over multiple times. Multiple times. He'll go over the same thing over and over and over. And some people still ain't getting it, man. Still ain't getting it. I don't know how many times he had to go over Isaiah 14:1, talking about the strangers, man. And he still goes over it, man. Multiple times. He just did another video on that. How many times does he have to talk about these things, man? It's like, it's people just be listening to too many different, this dude, that dude, man. It says, mark the perfect man and behold the upright man, or something like that. And who do you know within this whole Israelite community? You could choose IUIC, WA5, Great Millstone, take all those titles away. Who being amongst the whole nation of Israel is teaching the truth, man, at a high level, and just doing it at a high level, man, and being consistent every day. I mean, he does more videos in a day than most people do in a whole week. He'll do it in one day, and he's been in this thing longer than everybody, man. Isaiah 19:4. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts. Now, this cruel Lord is ultimately talking about Yahweh Shai. Okay, you're going to be given over to a cruel Lord, and he's going to rule with a rod of iron over y'all. But this is multiple double meanings. Okay, it also is talking about the duck. Okay, he's going to be ruling over you Egyptians, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts. So you're going to go from one cruel Lord to another. And the things you see Duck doing, guess what? It's going to even be harder under Yahweh Shai. And Duck's going to fall, and he going to be same thing. He going to have to, Yahweh Shai, every knee shall bow. Okay. But, yeah, so that's why he says that.
The criminal aspect of some of that. A lot of money is being pumped into building up ICE. And $50,000 bonuses are being offered in some cases to new recruits. Mm-hmm. What do you know about...
What? $50,000 bonuses to new recruits? Let me hear that again.
Bonuses are being offered in some cases to new recruits. Mm-hmm. What do you know with regard to immigration issues in this country and the criminal aspect of some of that? A lot of money is being pumped into building up ICE. And $50,000 bonuses are being offered in some cases to new recruits. Mm-hmm.
$50,000 bonuses. Why wouldn't you join ICE? Woo, the Lord is making it easy for Esau to be a demon, bro. He's making it, he's gonna get all these devils. You're gonna be, you can get paid to be a devil. You can be a full-blown demon in these last days, man. And this is why he's gonna come down with great wrath. $50,000 bonuses. Oh, and the you got duck backing you up if you do anything, and you got the president backing you up. Come on, man. This is why you want to be repentive. I don't know how many times people got to show you it, but man, hey, we just gonna keep doing what we got to do.
What do you know about and make of the buildup of ICE and the quality of the recruits?
It's hard to judge what the quality of the recruits is. Recruiting for any police job is difficult.
They're fucking racist as fuck. Okay, you got to look into it. Some of these people are known to be in white supremacist circles. A lot of the ICE agents who sign up for these jobs, I mean, they're already in the police departments and all that, but these specific jobs, they're looking for some higher, these are higher level devils, man. Okay. So they're making it easy. If he wants you, there's something, they're probably getting recruited or what do you call it? Not recruited. Yeah, recruited through some weird channeling, man. You know, certain circles, man. That's what they're looking for. Specific types of people to lead, to do some wicked shit, man. That's what they're looking for.
Difficult today, and so I can understand why they'd want to use a bonus, but they have to be very careful. The Miami Police Department had a surge in hiring back in the 90s and ended up lowering their standards, and as a result of that,
Had a surge in hiring and lowered the standards, and that's $50,000 for some people. People, shit, even if you give people 5,000, 3,000, 2,000, they'll do it. And if they really want you, they'll give you 50,000, man. Just they want a low base army, man, out here to come against y'all.
they got corruption and brutality and terrible things happening in that police.
Brutality. Let's look at this word brutality, man. Sounds like some Mortal Kombat shit. Brutality. Shang Tsung wins. Define brutality. Savage physical violence. Great cruelty, man. And he's the cruel king. Define brutality in Mortal Kombat terms. Define brutality in Mortal Kombat terms. In Mortal Kombat, a brutality is dramatic and often more challenging finisher move that ends a match by destroying the opponent with the final hit of a fight. Unlike a fatality, which is performed after the finishing prompt, a brutality is executed as the match concludes, meaning it must be the specific move that depletes the opponent's health bar. Brutality was like they just keep beating you up, man. And that's what he's gonna do. That's that coming down with great wrath, because he knows he got a short time left, and the Lord's gonna allow him to do it. Why wouldn't you want to get right with the Lord? I don't. It's very simple. You're gonna get shot in these churches because you don't get it. Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Talking about the believers. They believe that the Israel, they believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, they believe in the kingdom. Those are the believers. Not you and the Son and the Holy Spirit touching your forehead, your chest, your shoulders, and your rosary beads. None of that's in the Bible. Okay? Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, For the devil, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, has come down unto you, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, having great wrath. Why? Because he has a perpetual hatred for you, because the blessing that you stole from him, your forefather Jacob stole from him in Genesis 25th chapter, in the birthright, in the blessing, in the birthright, in the blessing in Genesis the 27th chapter. Because he knoweth that he have but a short time, meaning he ain't going, he going into slavery.
Department. That's a lesson they should be looking at when they're hiring these new agents. We certainly need strong borders. I've always advocated for enforcement in that area, but what's happening with the snatching of people from the streets and the disguises and the no badges and no warrants. This isn't American law enforcement. I don't understand how this can happen.
No badges and this wild. You can get picked up by some random ass, racist ass Edomites. They're the ones who always depict themselves as police officers. Even they'll be fake police officers. They'll do that shit, man. They'll do that shit. That's Esau, man. It's in his spirit to do some shit like that. Like that. You Jakes would never probably just dress up as a police officer, put some lights on your car and drive around and act like a police officer. Esau would. He'll do that.
Happen in our country.
Why don't you own apartment buildings? Seriously, why don't you own these big apartment buildings?
What is the model?
The model is what Sir Robert Peel said, which was the public of the police and the police of the public. It's all about community policing. That's what this country was built on.
What I meant is, what do you believe the model is for the administration with these masked guys? And some of them apparently are being hired right out of white supremacist groups.
Well, if that's happening, it's wrong and it needs to stop.
Ooh, I just said that. Being hired right out of white supremacist groups, man. So you gotta be careful out here, man. If the Lord's not dealing with you, you're gonna get caught up in all of this, man. And they're gonna torture you. They're gonna hang you. They're gonna kill you, man. They're gonna chop your balls off. They're gonna take pictures. They're gonna send it to one another. They're gonna laugh about it. This is Esau. These are devils, man. They're demons, wizards. KKK, Ku Klux Klan, those are a bunch of fucking devils or wizards. Okay? That's what they practice. That's what they are. Okay? You don't think they just hanged you to hang you. It says, cursed be he that hangeth on a tree. All this is from the Bible. They're wicked. Okay? Get right with your Lord, man.
And this is a barefaced grab for power and intimidation. I think that's the only way to describe this. I work in cities around the country where the crime rate is much more dangerous than it is in Washington, D.C. These are some cities in the South. None of those cities are being threatened with this type of activity.
Cities in the South, exactly. Why? Because, listen, the South, you're going to need the Lord. But at least down South, see, men down South, they know the devil, man. They get it. See, a lot of y'all up here, y'all got all these equality, DEI, and this, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're fucking stupid, man. You are fully up here. You don't got it, man. You don't got it. You ain't gonna know it until it's too late. You ain't gonna know until it's too late.
They're threatening Boston, they're threatening Washington, they're threatening Chicago. This is a political ploy. Make no mistake about it.
Yeah. You mentioned in our first segment that in most major cities, including Boston, crime data shows crime rates are down. In Boston, one area that isn't down, it's actually up compared with last year, is homicide. Why? What should Mayor Wu be doing differently, if anything?
Well, I think Michael Cox has been doing a great job in dealing with crime, and the mayor is very supportive of his strategies. And there are seasonal and yearly differences in the crime rate. It will bounce around in a particular area. So 1 year over another is not a good indicator of trends.
Okay.
But if you look at the trends, the numbers have dropped to almost unimaginable levels when you consider the size of the population here. Sometimes there'll be a spike because of gang activity or other issues that drive this thing, but the overall, if you look over a 10-year period, the numbers are looking really good.
Okay, same question. We flip it around. Why are we doing so well relatively?
Well, I think it's because of two things. One is the outreach to the community and the idea of connecting police officers directly with the citizens they police so that they can establish trust and information will flow. And then the other thing is the proactive mentality of Commissioner Cox's administration to utilize things like CompStat and be very analytical about the crime that's occurring.
That's the shot spotter technology?
No,
I'm sorry.
No, CompStat is a meeting that's held bi-weekly in the police department to take a look at hotspots and to push the patrol force to have strategies in place at those locations to push the numbers down. Those things work. The connections and the analytical review of crime, where it's occurring, and how we can anticipate the next crime that's about to happen and stop it.
And just a few weeks ago, I'm sure many of our viewers saw the video of a bike scooter mob taking over I-93.
If you're thinking about getting a contour pillow, you need to hear this first. So I almost made the dumbest mistake of my life. I got this contour pillow called Dorilla Ergo.
Dozens, and there have been other cases where sometimes it's hundreds of young people on bikes and scooters, and it's terrifying if you encounter that, and there doesn't...
Well, these bikes and scooters, these gonna be the same people that are gonna be running your streets, man. They're gonna be terrifying in these last days, believe that.
Seem to be a lot the police can do about it. What do you think should be done about it?
I think we have to be very tough on that. I hearken back to the days where that would not have been accepted. The problem that we have right now is the public support for the police. The police are afraid to take strong action against those groups because they don't feel that the public wants that. And when you add to that the court decisions that come down that are supportive of more disorder or sort of being very
lenient?
Lenient, easy on crime, giving everybody a second chance. That's fine to a point, and I don't discourage those points. But you need to have really strong judges that understand what those individuals are doing to the rest of the community. It's okay to talk about loitering and the people who are stopped at intersections taking money or the bikes from a position in a rural town or a suburb where you don't have to deal with it. But if it's outside your door, and I dare say the Supreme Court might have a different opinion of this if it was happening on their front doorstep. And those are the people I care about. It's the people in the city that have to put up with this disorder. Judge Kelling addressed it in New York. It made a big difference when they went after it. And I think we have to get serious about that. Courts, the community, and then the police.
Well, the governor appoints the judges. What's your message briefly to her and whoever would succeed her about what they need to do?
I really believe, and I was just having a conversation about this with a criminal justice expert, judges like Bob Barton, who was a Superior Court judge in Massachusetts who passed away a couple of years ago, he was a good model of what...
There's only a couple 20 seconds left. I just want to end the video.
A no-nonsense judge is all about. He was fair, he was just, but he also wouldn't deal with some of the silliness that we see out there. And that's what we need. We need sober, intelligent people that are paying attention to these problems.
We need the children of Israel. We need the sons of God to establish law and order down here on the earth. We need the law, statutes, and commandments. And then everything will be in order. Until then, there's going to be more shit that's going to come out. And more civil unrest, all types of stuff's going to happen. when the children of Israel are not in power.
So much more we could get into. Our time is up, but thank you so much for being here and for your work here at WBZ. We really appreciate it.
Appreciate that. It was a pleasure. Thanks, John.
Good to see you.
It's very important.
I'm going to end it right there. Lord's will, this was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechak Wadash. Shalom.